Hi everyone. So I get a lot of questions about why it's so much easier to think and feel negatively than it is to think and feel positively. So I wanted to take some time to illustrate this with a metaphor. All right, I love this metaphor. I think it explains things really nicely. So I hope you enjoy, and let's get started. So I want you to think of the mind as a garden. All right, and what do we know about gardens? Well, it's really easy to grow weeds. Right? These weeds, they just show up out of nowhere. We don't have to do anything to get a weed to come into our garden. They can grow strong, they can grow tall without many resources. They're really pesky, right? And the tricky part about weeds is unless you get rid of them by pulling out their roots, they're just gonna keep coming back. So I want you to think about weeds as negative thoughts and feelings. All right, unless we understand the source of our unpleasant thoughts and feelings, we're not going to be able to get rid of them. And it's really easy for our minds to tend toward the negative. So let me give you an example, right? Many of us fear rejection. Okay, we fear being rejected by our friends, by our work, whoever we work with, getting rejected by our relationship partners, whatever it is. And so what do we try to do to overcome this fear of rejection? We typically try to change ourselves. Right? We try to be this perfect version of who we think wouldn't get rejected. We try to say the right thing and do the right thing, and oftentimes it's not even what we want to do. So that's kind of like cutting off this fear of rejection, this weed of the fear of rejection above the surface. Okay? It can work for a little bit of time, but that fear is going to continue to come back. Because even if we do try to be this perfect version, and then we still get rejected, we're going to think there's something fundamentally wrong with us, right? So in order to get at the root of this, we have to teach ourselves that we don't have control over how other people think and feel about us, right? Even if we are the perfect version, if we say the perfect thing, we still can't control how other people respond. So the safest bet is just to be ourselves, right? Because that's what we can count on. We can count on being ourselves. And when we do that, we attract the right people into our lives who are going to accept us for who we are. And we don't have to continue to have this fear that we're always going to get rejected. Okay, so again, weeds are like negative thoughts and feelings. So on the other hand, positive thoughts and feelings are like flowers. All right, and what do we know about flowers? Flowers take effort. Flowers take cultivation. We have to give flowers the right water, sunlight, soil. We have to make sure our flowers have strong roots because they need to withstand the outside conditions. They have to withstand wind and rain and all that stuff. Okay, so we need to plant strong roots when it comes to our positive thoughts and feelings. But even if we have strong roots, there are still going to be bugs. All right, here's a lovely little caterpillar, a cute little caterpillar that loves to eat flowers. Okay, I want you to think of caterpillars or bugs as just everyday frustrations, everyday annoyances, stress, whatever it is. If we don't take care to protect our flowers from these bugs, our flowers are going to get eaten away. So if we don't protect our thoughts and feelings against the everyday things we have to deal with by changing the way that we respond to these bugs, then our flowers are not going to be doing so well. And then we have the biggest menace, or one of the biggest menaces in the garden. We have gophers. And my stepmom deals with a lot of gophers, so I always hear about this, but you know, gophers I want you to think of as these really big unforeseen circumstances, these things that come out of nowhere that blindside you, or just things that are just really difficult to deal with. We all go through them, okay? And gophers are tricky because oftentimes they're going beneath the surface, they'll eat the roots of the flower and the flower will just collapse, right? So all of these things, these weeds, these gophers, these bugs, they're all wreaking havoc in our gardens or in our minds, right? And so we have to protect ourselves against these things. So again, flowers take cultivation. This is why it's so much harder to think positively and to feel positively. And I want to be clear, when it comes to creating inner peace and happiness, it's not just a one and done thing, right? Unless you become, amazingly enlightened. But for most of us, we have to continually practice cultivating positive thoughts and feelings. You have to keep cultivating your mind with positive flowers, positive thoughts and feelings. There are going to be bugs and gophers. there's going to be weather, there are going to be things that try to disrupt your positivity, but you need to protect your flowers, or in the gopher case, replant them. All right, so I hope this metaphor was helpful. I hope that this better illustrates why we tend to think more negatively than positively. So let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments. All right, thanks.